Okay, stop scrolling.
Yeah.
Seriously, put the phone down, or rather, keep the phone in your hand because you were listening to us,
Yeah.
but stop the doom scroll. Freeze. We have got something incredible to unpack today, and I need you fully present for this.
That is quite the aggressive opening. I feel like I'm being called to the principal's office.
I am just channeling the energy of our source material. That's how it starts. Today, we're looking at a really pivotal moment in a language learning journey. We are deep diving into day 15 of this intensive English course.
Okay.
And the opening command from the guide, Jace, is literally stop scrolling in all caps.
It is effective. I mean, it grabs you.
Yeah.
And honestly, it makes a lot of sense from a behavioral psychology perspective. Day 15 is not just another day.
Right.
In the context of a 30-day challenge, this is the halfway mark. It is the bridge.
Huh.
And, the middle of any challenge is usually where that initial excitement starts to fade and the discipline hasn't fully kicked in yet as a permanent habit.
It's the danger zone. It's where you might drop off.
Yeah.
But it's also the breakthrough zone. We're crossing the bridge from being a, let's say, functional beginner, somebody who can just sort of survive and point at things, to having actual conversational power.
Conversational power. I like that term.
It's a massive shift in how you exist in the language.
It is.
Yeah.
If you look at the trajectory of language learning, those first 2 weeks are usually about survival. It's all about the mechanics. I need water. Where's the bathroom? My name is X.
Right, the bare essentials.
But day 15, according to these sources, is where we start adding spice.
I love that analogy, the spice of sentences.
It's perfect, isn't it? Because up until now, if you follow the curriculum we are analyzing, the learner has been, sketching in black and white. They have the outlines.
Yeah.
Today, with the introduction of adjectives and their opposites, they start painting in color.
So our mission today is to deep dive into this exact transition. We're going to unpack how adding descriptive words completely changes everything about how you communicate. It moves you from just, I exist,
to I feel, or I think, or I have an opinion.
Yes. And we're guided in this source material by two really distinct voices. We have Jace, who brings this very warm, enthusiastic energy. He is the one yelling, stop scrolling.
He's the hype man.
He is. And then we have Isha, who is a bit more structured. She's the one providing the insight, the lists, the mechanics of it all.
They make a good team, and they make a really important point right at the start. They remind a listener that they have 2 full weeks of consistency in the bag.
That is huge.
It's everything. Consistency is the hardest part of language learning, or really any skill. Reaching day 15 means the habit is forming, you've shown up, you've put in the work.
So before we even get into the spice, let's look at what they call the stack of achievements. Joyce lists out what the learner has already mastered in just the first 14 days, and honestly, it is an impressive list.
It really is.
When you see it all written out, you realize, wow, this is a lot of cognitive load that you've already handled.
And it's so easy to forget how much you've learned when you're in the thick of it. You don't feel yourself growing taller every day, right?
Right.
But this list is a very strategic review of foundational skills. It's designed to combat that imposter syndrome that so many learners feel, that sense of, oh, I'm still just a beginner.
Let's run through some of these because they really set the stage for why today is so different. First off, social skills. He says you've mastered greeting naturally, introducing oneself, asking powerful questions.
Okay, so that's what I was calling the I exist phase. Just think about the anxiety of walking into a room where you don't speak the language well.
Terrifying.
Right. By mastering greetings and introductions, you are establishing your presence. You are not just a passive observer anymore. You become an active participant.
And that phrase, asking powerful questions, that's key.
Oh, it's huge. It means you are driving the interaction. You're not just reacting to what people ask you. You're showing curiosity. You're in control.
Then there are the technical wins. Mastered tricky vowel sounds, telling time and dates.
That represents the mechanics. You cannot build a house without bricks, right? Vowel sounds, numbers, time. Those are the bricks.
They seem boring, but they're not.
They're not boring. They're critical infrastructure. If you can't tell someone when to meet you, or if they can't understand you because your vowels are muddy, you can't build a relationship with them. It's fundamental.
True. Then we get into daily life. This is where it gets real. Naming every corner of the house, describing daily routines, ordering food politely.
And this is where the language moves from the textbook into the real world. Naming the corners of your house means you are taking ownership of your environment in English. You're not just a visitor in your own home.
And ordering food. That's a high-stakes transaction.
It really is. You're hungry, there's a waiter waiting, maybe the place is loud, people are looking.
So much pressure.
Exactly. If you mess that up, you don't eat, or you eat something you didn't want. Or you sound rude, which is even worse for many people. So mastering the polite imperative, I would like, versus give me, is the difference between being a tourist and a functioning member of society.
And what about navigation? Asking for directions without getting lost.
Autonomy. That is what that skill represents. It's freedom. You are not dependent on a map app on your phone. You can interact with another human being to find your way. It builds immense confidence.
And the most recent one, which Jay's mentioned specifically, and this is a big one. Just yesterday, you started living the present moment with I am doing.
Ah, the present continuous tense. That is a complete game changer. It moves you from static statements like I run or I read.
To dynamic action. I am running. I am reading right now. It puts you directly in the flow of life.
It does. And Joyce's reaction to this entire stack of skills is just pure validation. He says, flat out, you're not a beginner anymore.
And you can feel the impact of that sentence.
It's a powerful psychological reframe. So many learners stay in that beginner mindset for years. They're constantly apologizing for their English.
Sorry for my bad English.
Yes, that exact phrase. And Jai is saying, no, stop that. Look at this stack. You have earned the right to say you have conversational power.
But, and here's the pivot, there's something missing. Even with all that, all those skills, the sentences can be a little dry.
Precisely. You can order food, but can you say how it tastes? You can ask for directions, but can you describe the building you are looking for? You can say, I am watching a movie, but you can't say if you like it.
And that brings us right to the core concept of day 15, the spice, the adjectives.
Right. And the source material uses a comparison game to illustrate this, which I think is very effective. They contrast boring sentences with vivid ones.
Let's play that game. I want to really highlight what happens in the brain when we hear these differences. So the boring version is, the food is good.
Functional, accurate, but totally flat. Good is a placeholder word. It tells me almost nothing about the actual experience.
Okay, now the vivid version. The food is delicious and spicy.
See? Suddenly, I'm hungry. Good is generic. Delicious and spicy evoke sensation. My brain actually activates the gustatory centers when you say spicy. It tells me about the experience, not just the status. It connects me to you.
It's a huge difference. Okay, next one. Boring. The movie is bad.
Again, okay, but why? Was the acting bad? The lighting, the story, the dialogue bad? It just shuts down the conversation. It's a dead end.
Now, vivid. The movie was boring and too long.
Ah, now we have a critique. We have specific reasons. Boring and long are subjective experiences. And this is key adjectives allow you to share your opinion. You are sharing a piece of your mind, not just an objective fact.
Last one. Boring. The phone is expensive.
Statement of fact. Basically, you're just reading a price tag out loud.
Vivid. The phone is quite expensive, but worth it.
But worth it. That one little phrase adds a whole layer of value judgment. That is complex thought being expressed simply through adjectives. You are weighing the cost against the benefit. That is incredibly sophisticated communication.
It really is. It seems like such a small change, just adding a word or two, but the impact is massive.
It's a psychological shift. When you use adjectives, the language starts to sound more you. It allows the speaker to describe the world exactly as they feel it, not just as it objectively exists.
That's a great way to put it.
I mean, a robot can say the temperature is 40 degrees Celsius. Only a human calls it hot and miserable.
Or hot and perfect for the beach.
Exactly. Adjectives are where personality lives.
So how do we learn these? The source material, specifically Aisha's section, introduces a very specific methodology. We are not just memorizing a random list of words. We are learning them in pairs.
Positive and negative. Opposites.
Why is that a better way to learn than just a long list of random words?
It's a powerful mnemonic device. The brain loves contrast. It loves patterns. If I teach you the word hot, your brain automatically starts looking for the counter concept. It's just how we categorize the world.
So it's more efficient.
It doubles the efficiency of learning, I would argue. By teaching hot and cold together, you are filing them in the same drawer in your mind. It's like coordinates on a map. You need north and south to really understand where you are.
That makes perfect sense. So let's deep dive into these pairs. There are 10 core pairs in the first section. And what I love about these sources is that they don't just give you the words, they give specific culturally grounded examples that really bring the language to life.
Let's walk through them. It's worth it.
Okay, pair number 1, the universal starting point. Good versus bad.
You absolutely cannot survive without these two. They are the Swiss Army knives of adjectives. The examples given are the weather is good today versus that was a bad decision.
That was a bad decision. That's a heavy sentence. It's not just describing an object.
No, it's useful though. It moves beyond just pointing at things. That was a bad decision implies regret or judgment of an action, not an object. But notice the range. We apply good to the weather, which is external, and bad to a decision, which is internal and abstract. Very versatile.
Okay, pair number 2. Happy versus sad or unhappy.
The emotional states, I'm very happy to see you, versus she looks sad today. This connects back to what we said about empathy and connection.
Right.
You can now observe and comment on other people's feelings. Before day 15, if someone was crying, you might not have had the words to acknowledge it. Now you do. You can connect.
But pair number 3. This is where the specific details really stood out to me. Beautiful versus ugly.
Yes. Look at the example sentence they provide. The hills in Himachal are beautiful.
The specificity. Not just the hills, it's the hills in Himachal.
It grounds the learner. Many people using this course are likely familiar with that geography. It evokes a real image greenery, mountains, mist, pine trees. It makes the word beautiful sticky because it attaches to a real memory or a desired destination.
And the contrast.
That building is really ugly.
We've all seen that building.
We have. And being able to call it ugly is, again, exercising that power of opinion. You're not just passively accepting the world, you're judging it.
Pair number 4. Nice versus horrible, terrible.
The examples here are such great contrasts in social function. You have a nice smile. That is a compliment. It's social glue. It builds relationships.
And the opposite.
The traffic was horrible this morning.
The universal human experience. Complaining about traffic.
I'm convinced if you can complain about traffic in English, you are fluent. That is the true test. But horrible is such a strong word. It is much more expressive than the traffic was bad.
Yeah, bad doesn't cut it.
Horrible implies suffering. It implies you were stuck there for hours, fuming. It invites the other person to commiserate and say, oh, I know, me too. It's a bonding experience.
Pair number 5 involves one of my favorite things. Food. Delicious, tasty versus awful, disgusting.
And the sensory details here are crucial. The momos are delicious.
Momos. Again, a very specific, culturally relevant example. You can almost taste the chutney just hearing that sentence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It places the learner in a context they know and probably love, and then the negative. The milk has gone bad. It tastes awful.
Ugh, we have all been there. That horrible moment of realization.
But notice the utility there. You need to be able to warn someone, don't drink that, it's awful. That is a safety function of language. It's not just about poetry and expressing your feelings, it's about survival.
That's a really good point. Okay, moving on to pair number 6. Expensive versus cheap or inexpensive.
This is all about the nuance of value. This phone is quite expensive. Okay, that's straightforward. But then you look at the contrast in the example. These street-side earrings are very cheap.
Street-side earrings. I love that detail so much. It paints a picture of a market, of bargaining, of finding a cool little deal.
It places the learner in a specific, lived context. It's not a sterile textbook example about a red ball or a blue box. It's about real life. It implies a lifestyle where you are out shopping, comparing prices, and finding little treasures in the street market.
Okay, pair number 7. Easy versus difficult or hard.
There's a bit of a meta commentary in the example here, which is clever. This podcast is easy to follow.
A little pat on the back for the course creators there.
But it's accurate. If the learner understands that sentence, they are proving the sentence true. It gives them a win right in the middle of the lesson, which builds confidence.
And the opposite.
Maths was always difficult for me.
So relatable.
Very. And note that hard and difficult are generally interchangeable here, which is good for learners to know so they don't get hung up on which one to use in which situation.
Right. Pair number 8. Interesting versus boring.
This story is very interesting versus the lecture is so boring I almost slept.
I feel like these examples are telling a story about a student's life. They're eating momos, buying street-side earrings, and suffering through boring lectures.
It creates a persona, a character. The learner isn't just reciting words, they were stepping into a character who lives this life. It makes a learning immersive. And look at the consequence in that second sentence. So boring I almost slept. It teaches you to qualify the intensity of the feeling and its result.
Pair number 9. Hot versus cold. The sensory extremes.
The chai is too hot, I burn my tongue.
Ouch. A universal pain.
We've all done it. The immediate, sharp, physical reaction. And notice the structure. Too hot. Not just hot, but too hot. It introduces the concept of excess, of something crossing a threshold.
And the opposite example.
I prefer cold coffee in summer. That's a preference. It defines who you are. Are you a hot coffee person or a cold coffee person? That's a personality trait.
And finally, pair number 10. Big versus small or little.
This one gives us a lovely, almost poignant contrast in living situations. My family has a big house in the village versus I have a small room in Batty.
Wow. That is a whole novel in just 2 sentences. The migration from the big communal family home in the village to the industrial town Batty for work, living alone in a small room.
It anchors the language in a very powerful reality. Many learners are likely in that exact situation, working in a city or an industrial hub, missing the village. Using big and small to describe that transition gives the words an emotional weight.
It's not just about square footage.
No. It validates their lived experience. It says, we see you and we are giving you the words to tell your story. It's incredibly empathetic teaching.
It really is. It's not just size, it's lifestyle. It's history versus the present.
Exactly. Powerful stuff.
Okay, so those are the core 10 pairs. But Isha isn't done there. She provides a bonus list of 5 more high-frequency word pairs.
These are the force multipliers. You might use them slightly less often than good or bad, but when you need them, you really need them to navigate the world effectively.
Let's run through these quickly. First, important versus unimportant.
Family is very important to me. That is a core value statement. You use this to define your priorities to others. And the opposite, this detail is unimportant. That's about prioritization in a task or a conversation.
Next, friendly versus rude.
Crucial for social interactions. The examples are perfect. The shopkeeper is very friendly versus that person was rude on the phone.
I feel like we deal with these 2 characters every single day.
We do. And being able to label someone as rude is actually a very important coping mechanism. Instead of just feeling bad or internalizing a negative interaction, you can categorize their behavior. You can say, oh, he is being rude. It creates a healthy distance. It empowers you.
That's a great point. Next up, clean versus dirty.
Keep your room clean. A command we all heard growing up. My shoes got dirty in the rain. Again, just practical daily life descriptions. It's about maintenance and how you present yourself and your space to the world.
Fast versus slow.
This one tracks the development of modern infrastructure. The positive example is the new metro is very fast.
Versus the eternal complaint.
The bus was slow because of traffic.
The eternal battle. Metro versus bus. Fast versus slow. Progress versus congestion.
These words cover probably 90% of daily complaints or praises regarding transportation. If you can explain why you are late using the word slow and traffic, you are winning at conversational English.
And the last bonus pair, young versus old.
Family dynamics again. My cousin is young, only 12 years old, versus my grandfather is old, but very active.
I really like that, but very active addition. It shows how you can qualify an adjective, how you can add nuance. He isn't just old, which can be a flat or even negative descriptor.
Exactly. He is old but active. It adds dignity to the description. It challenges the stereotype of the word old right there in the example sentence. Very smart.
So that is our toolkit. We have the spices. We have whole spice rack now. But we need to know how to cook with them. We need the recipe.
Right. Knowing the words is one thing. Putting them into a sentence structure that flows and sounds natural is another. This is where Giles breaks it down into 4 basic patterns, or as he calls them, sentence mathematics.
I like that. Let's look at the math. Pattern 1, subject plus be plus adjective.
The simplest form, the fundamental equation, x equals y. The movie is interesting. She is happy. The chai is hot. This is stating a fact or a state of being, the absolute bedrock.
Pattern 2, subject plus verb plus adjective.
This is slightly more advanced because it involves sensory verbs. Verbs like tastes, looks, seems, feels. So the food tastes delicious. He looks tired.
What's the difference?
It's not just about what they are, but how they are perceived by you. It acknowledges that this is your observation. He looks tired is your interpretation, which is subtly different from he is tired, which is a statement of fact. It's more personal.
Okay, that makes sense. Pattern 3, adjective plus noun.
A direct modification, a beautiful view, an expensive watch, a difficult road. This is how you build complex noun phrases to use as subjects or objects in your other sentences. It's how you build detail into the world.
And pattern 4 isn't so much a structure as a booster pack. It involves intensifiers.
Yes. This is where we dial the volume up or down. Words like very, really, quite, and so.
They're very hot today. I'm so happy right now.
These are absolutely crucial because emotions and states are not binary. You are not just happy or sad. You can be a little happy, quite happy, very happy, or so unbelievably happy. These words allow for that graduation of feeling, which makes your speech so much more precise.
Now this is interesting. Isha adds a specific tip aimed at Indian learners here. She flags a very common mistake.
Yes, and this is a classic interlanguage error. Interlanguage is that unique grammar system a learner creates by kind of mixing their native language rules with the rules of the target language. It's a natural phase.
And the error she points out is saying, very much good.
Right. The food was very much good. You hear this a lot. And it makes perfect sense because it's often a direct translation of emphasis from many Indian languages, like bahut yada acha in Hindi.
But in English?
In standard English, much doesn't modify an adjective like good in that way. It sounds a little clunky, a little off.
So the fix is simple.
Just very good or really good. Drop the much. It's a tiny change that instantly makes you sound more native.
And she also gives a tip for the negative, which I thought was really insightful.
Yes, instead of just saying not good, which can sound a bit blunt or harsh depending on your tone.
Like you're dismissing it. How was the movie? Not good. End of conversation.
Exactly. She suggests using not very good or not good at all.
It softens the blow. It's more polite.
It is. English speakers often use not very good as a polite euphemism for absolutely terrible. It's a way to deliver criticism without being rude. How was the movie? It's not very good. That's code for don't waste your money.
That's a great cultural nuance to teach. So we have the words, we have the patterns. Now let's see them in the wild. Jays walks us through some specific contextual scenarios.
This is key for immersion. It's one thing to know the words, another to know when to deploy them. Grouping these words by topic helps the brain categorize them for faster recall.
First up, of course, food. We've already had the momos, but here he brings in paneer tikka.
The paneer tikka is spicy and delicious. Notice the double adjective. Spicy indeed delicious. For some people, spicy is painful, but here it's presented as a positive attribute.
And lassi.
The lassi is sweet and cold.
That is the perfect description of a good lassi. If it's warm, it's just wrong.
Exactly. Sweet and cold. It conveys the entire refreshing nature of the drink in just 3 words. It's efficient communication.
Then he moves to weather. And we are back in Batty.
It's very cold in Batty these days. And the sun is hot. Don't forget sunscreen. This is practical advice wrapped in simple adjectives. It's language in service of life.
Next category.
People.
My colleague is friendly and helpful. That is the dream colleague, right?
The absolute dream.
Versus the customer was rude on the call. That is the unfortunate reality of many customer service jobs. These 2 sentences cover the entire spectrum of workplace relationships.
And finally, media. The new web series is interesting, but a bit slow. That is a very sophisticated critique. You are balancing a positive attribute, interesting, with a negative nuance, slow. That is real, authentic conversational ability.
And the second one.
The ending was surprising and beautiful, high praise.
I feel like I have watched that show. I know exactly what he means.
We all have.
Okay, so then the source material gives us a full mini dialogue. This is where we see the ping pong of a real conversation.
Let's break it down. It starts with the most common conversational opener. How was your weekend?
And the answer isn't just good. It was really good. On Saturday, I went to the mall. The food court was crowded, but the pizza was delicious.
Look at the layers there. Crowded is a negative, but the pizza was delicious is a positive. That is a real experience. You enjoyed the food despite the crowd. It shows complexity. Life isn't all good or all bad.
Then the friend asks about Sunday.
Sunday was boring. It was raining, so I stayed home and watched a movie. The movie was quite interesting.
See, that is the rhythm of real life. One day good, one day boring, one thing crowded, another thing interesting. It's a mix.
And notice how the adjectives are what drive the story. If you took them all out, I went to the mall, I ate pizza, I stayed home, I watched a movie.
It's robot speak.
It's a police report. It's just a list of events. The adjectives are what tell us how the weekend felt. They turn data into a human story.
Now, at this point in our deep dive, we usually just keep talking. But the source material does something really cool here. It actually asks the listener, to stop listening. There is a practice challenge.
I love this. Immediate application. It's active learning, not passive. You can't just listen to a swimming lesson. At some point, you have to get in the water.
So Jace asks a listener to pause the audio, look around their room, or think about their day, and describe 6 things using these new words.
Let's simulate that for a second. If we were doing this exercise right now, based on the examples they provide to get you started.
Okay, example 1. My phone is old, but very useful.
Great description. It acknowledges the age, the potential negative, but it validates the function, the positive. That's a balanced view.
The weather in Batty is cold and foggy.
Atmospheric. Paints a picture.
My mother is happy because it's Sunday.
I like that one. It's a contextual emotion. She isn't just randomly happy. There is a reason. It connects the feeling to the circumstance.
The chai is hot and tasty.
Classic. Can't go wrong.
My room is small but clean.
That is a very telling description. It reveals something about the speaker's character. It shows pride. Even if the space is small, the maintenance of it, the cleanliness, is a choice. It reveals character.
And of course, the final example. This podcast is interesting and helpful.
We certainly hope so. But
Right.
notice the pattern in all of these. It's noun plus attribute. It grounds an object or a person in the speaker's personal reality. It's not just a phone. It's my old but useful phone.
It effectively forces the listener to audit their own surroundings. You aren't just seeing a chair anymore. You're seeing a comfortable chair, or a broken chair, or an ugly chair.
It changes your perception of the world around you. You start actively labeling the world. And once you start labeling it in English, you are starting to think in English. That's the goal.
Now, as we wrap up the main lesson part of the day, Isha comes back in with the golden cheat sheet.
This is the takeaway, the consolidated list of the 15 pairs.
We won't reread the whole list, but the concept itself is important. Why a cheat sheet?
Because memory is leaky, especially under pressure. You need a quick reference. Having those 15 pairs, good, bad, happy, sad, fast, slow, saved as a screenshot on your phone, means you have a safety net.
Right.
When you are stuck in a sentence trying to describe something, you can glance at it and find the word you need, or its opposite. It's a confidence booster.
And then the homework.
Homework often gets a bad rap, but in this course, it seems like it's designed as real-life actions. These tasks are designed to push you out of the classroom and into the world.
Okay, task 1. Write 12 sentences mixing positive and negative. And the example they give is beautiful. The hills around Batty are beautiful, but the road is difficult.
That is a poetic sentence. It perfectly captures the duality of so many beautiful places. The destination is worth the journey. Writing it down reinforces the spelling and the sentence structure.
Task 2. Record a 90 to 120-second audio diary describing your day.
This is scary for a lot of people, recording your own voice.
It is terrifying. You hear your own voice back and you think, do I really sound like that? You feel silly.
But it is so, so crucial. You need to hear yourself. You need to get used to the sound of your English voice. If the first time you really hear yourself speak English is in a high-stakes job interview, you will panic.
That's a good point.
And describing your day, today's cold, breakfast was tasty, my boss was friendly, is a low-pressure way to do it. No one else has to hear it. It's just for you.
Task 3. Send a message or a voice note to a friend using 3 adjectives.
Social accountability. This is brilliant. It brings the learning into your actual relationships and makes it real.
And task 4. Comment publicly describing something you saw today.
This is the public commitment.
Yeah.
It could be on their social media page or anywhere. It validates your identity as a learner. It tells the world, and more importantly, it tells yourself, I am doing this. I am an English speaker.
And finally, looking ahead. Jays and Aisha tease the topic for day 16.
Clothes and shopping.
Everyone loves shopping, or at least everyone has to shop.
But it is also a technical minefield for a language learner. You've got sizes, S, M, L. You've got phrases like, it's too tight or it's too loose. Bargaining, fabrics, colors, asking, do you have this in blue? That sounds like a really practical and fun one. Being able to say, this is too expensive, is a vital life skill in any language.
Absolutely. So as we close out this deep dive into day 15, let's just synthesize what this all really means.
We started by saying this is the bridge, and I think we have clearly seen why.
We have moved from I do to it is.
We have moved from describing actions to describing qualities, and maybe more importantly, describing feelings.
The source material ends with Jais and Isha saying something really encouraging. They say, we're incredibly proud of you. And then they say, your English is becoming more and more like you.
That is the core value of this entire lesson. Without adjectives, you are a reporter of facts. The car is red. The man is tall. I ate food. With adjectives, you are a commentator. The car is beautiful, the man is friendly, the food was disgusting.
It is the difference between a photograph and a painting.
That's a perfect analogy. A photograph captures light, a painting captures feeling. Adjectives are the brushstrokes. They're how you show the world your unique perspective.
So here is a thought for you to chew on as you go about your day.
The provocative question.
If you removed all adjectives from your last conversation, if you just completely stripped away the good, the bad, the boring, the tired, the beautiful, would you have communicated facts?
Yes. You would have conveyed information. I went to the store, I bought milk, I came home.
But would you have communicated yourself? Would the other person have learned anything about who you are or how you felt?
Probably not. You would be a ghost in the machine. A walking, talking spreadsheet.
Adjectives are the proof of life in language. They are the proof that a human is speaking, not a computer.
So don't be afraid to use them. Be spicy.
Be spicy. I love that. Describe the world exactly as you see it, as you feel it.
And remember, even if the road is difficult, the view can be beautiful.
Oh, look at you using the homework sentences. You've been practicing.
I try. It's a good sentence.
That is it for our deep dive into the colorful world of Day 15. Keep practicing, keep describing, and we will catch you on the next one.
Goodbye, everyone.
See ya.